Today, we are replacing our marketing team with AI agents that we created on a no-code tool called n8n. And we even built an app that lets us communicate with this chief marketing officer that can delegate tasks to other AI agents. By the end of the video, you will get a glimpse into how AI will replace many jobs in the economy, but you will also understand how to effectively use AI and automate tasks and how you can communicate with those agents to be more productive. Let's dive in. Over the past 2 days, we created an AI agent that controls other AI agents. So I can tell it to do a thing, and the AI agent will decide which AI agent of which we created to use for the task. We're trying to replace the chief marketing officer. Let me show you how this works. Please do some research on the latest about Google's new CLI tool. It's a competitor to Claude Code. I want to create some content around this tool, and I want to make some tweets about this. So please scrape the internet, find some tweets about it, and create 3 posts on Buffer for this. Actually, for the third one, instead of scraping it, generate an image of someone using a developer tool that is called Google CLI. So generate an image for that one, so you should have 3 total posts. So we're going to send that in to our app that we vibe coded, and it's going to send that information into this agent. Now this agent is reasoning. It's like, okay, which AI agent should we use? Right now it's using the research agent. It's not going to show where it is in the research agent, but this is what it's using, right? We have access to the news. We have access to Appify.
Appify has about over 4,000 different APIs you can hit in order to scrape the web, scrape the internet, and most importantly, scrape social media.
Yeah.
That traditionally is super hard to do on your own. And with just one API key, you can do all of that.
So like basically this is one integration that we set up. And if you were to go to APIify or Appify, however it's pronounced, you can have it set it up to Reddit, I'm pretty sure, Instagram, TikTok, pull a bunch of useful data. And yeah, it's able to gather relevant context for the post that it's about to post.
You can get one API, but we went ahead and connected the MCP, which now has access to all 4,000 different APIs.
So it may spend a lot of time on this research step, which is good, right? We're already saving a ton of time. We want this to upload it to Buffer. So Buffer is the tool that we use to manage our social media. And in Buffer, you can create ideas, right? And this is like the CMO group. And this is where the agent puts all of the posts. So it'll go there once it's done. We have no idea which direction it's going to go.
Like, I mean, it makes its own plan and then ends that plan.
Yeah, it literally has a step in here. It's called think. And so it will literally spend time thinking after each step. Does it hit this every time, or does it hit it sometimes if it needs
Whenever it needs to think, it'll think.
Yeah, that's great.
Also, the research agent also has think, so now there's 2 thinkers.
Wait, is there think? Oh,
Yep.
wow, you can think. Okay.
So.
Oh, okay. So here, it's now thinking again, I swear, if it starts researching again. There we go.
No,
And now we're
agent.
on the media step. So it's either, hopefully it's both generating an image using FAL workflow. Okay, it's done with the link. Now it should go to poster.
It might go back to media to make the other ones.
Okay.
Well, let's see what it does. It's thinking. Oh,
Oh,
no. Wait,
back
straight
to poster.
Must have gotten all the information it needed.
And now it is posting them as an idea on Buffer. And this is where you can schedule posts on social media. Makes it very easy. As you can see here, it just completed.
Wow, the execution took 7 minutes.
Have you seen one that long before?
No, that's the longest one I've seen.
That's crazy. If we go to Buffer, we should see those posts. So as we can see here, and it used emojis. I have not set up the examples that well, but it created a post. This is what the future of coding looks like. It did get this, I think, from the Notion database as an example, because this is what the future of coding looks like is one of the hooks that I have literally used before, word for word.
Yeah.
And here it has this post that it generated on FAL. So I feel like we maybe want to upgrade the model, but I mean, that's fine. It's, someone using a Google CLI, it looks like it's not bad.
Yeah.
And then for these ones, it actually scraped the image off the internet. No idea where it got this. That's okay. Yeah, and so it created these 3 social posts. Okay, so now what I want to do is I actually really want to break down what's going on here, right? This is a chief marketing officer agent, right? And obviously it's not fully complete, but it will be. I guarantee you by the end of the year, we are going to create an AI agent that replaces, 20 workers, that we
Yeah.
can do a lot of really interesting things like generate full content videos, generate ads. Like we're seeing all of that technology come on the scene right now. What I want to do is break down kind of how we're doing this now. So this is the master agent. Whenever we send data from the app that we're creating, right, we have the VAP that we vibe coded that sends the data from the app into the webhook, right? That is what makes it a VAP. It is a vibe coded agentic application, right? And it's just any app that you create that has an agent. Doesn't need to be a mobile app, but in this case, it is. So this agent has access to these tools, right? It can send information, it can do research, it can generate or find media, it can post things on social media. That's really cool. And we're going to break down these individual tools. And so the first one that I want to break down is actually the biggest one, which is Helper 2.0. And Mohammed, why don't you break down this behemoth
Yeah.
of a tool?
Yeah, this thing is huge because this is just another layer on the onion because right under this, it calls in 3 other agents. So let's break it down. The helper has access to the email agent, which basically controls your entire Gmail. So it can mark unread, create a draft, send, label, reply, get labels, and get all the emails. It can also update, delete, get, create, and invite people to your calendars. And then the other tool that it has, the contact agent, controls your entire Slack. So it can get your users, get Slack channels, open messages, message user, and get channel history.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So like it can basically fully control your email, fully control your calendar, and fully control your Slack.
Yeah.
And so if we go over to my screen, what we can do here is we can actually test this out. So we're going to do a simple request in this giant thing right here, right? So we can hit test on n8n after you create any sort of workflow. If you're using the webhook URL that's right here, make sure that you put it on test mode, and like make sure you press this button or else it won't send it through. So now we're going to send it through on our VAP. And by the way, in order to message this master CMO, all you have to do is add in new webhooks, and we named them, right? So this is master test, and we can very easily hit this URL by adding new ones. And you can do that by pressing settings. And we're actually going to create this app on the App Store that you can use, but you can also create your own VAPs. But anyway, let's go ahead and test this. So I'm going to say, please schedule an appointment tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to film the short form content with Mohammed. And also send Mohammed a message on Slack reminding him of this. And you're going to see it start here. Now the agent is thinking, right? It sent it through the webhook. Anthropic is thinking. Now Helper is working. It's not going to light up here, but it is going through this entire process. So we have basically an agent handed it off to another agent that is now thinking, and it's going to delegate it to 2 other agents. And that can go on, in theory, like for as long as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. And and so this one won't take as long. But if we go back to Mohammed's screen, we can await his message. It said hi. Wait.
Why did it just message me hi?
It just messaged him hi, but it's still working. It's still working though. But does that just mean it's doing the calendar event?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he wants to see what I'm up to.
So in the instructions, wait, so why did it message hi? Like,
So in the user message, I actually just told itself to message myself hi.
oh, you were doing testing.
Yeah, I
Okay,
was
you
testing.
forgot to fix. Okay.
Yeah.
And
And so when you actually make these, you want them to be JSON variables. So the other AI agents can talk to each other. And it's,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. That
I
makes
don't-
sense.
Yeah.
And we actually did that a little bit in the last video. So if you want to learn more about that, you can check that one out. But
Right.
should we test it again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's try it again. Okay. So we're going to test this workflow again on my screen here. And what we're going to do is, all right, tomorrow at 12 p.m., I want to film some short form content with Mohammed. So please schedule that on my calendar and then message Mohammed, letting him know on Slack. You can see here, our agent was sent this information from our app that we've created, the VAP that we created, and now the helper is now going to work. So it's doing all these things, and we can actually go ahead and watch Mohammed's screen. Hopefully he gets the correct Slack message this time. If you go to Slack.
All right, I got the message. Hi, Mohammed. Just wanted to remind you about our scheduled meeting tomorrow at 12 p.m. for filming short form content together.
Amazing.
Looking forward to collaborating with you. Let me know if you have any questions or need to make any adjustments to the schedule.
Lovely.
And if I did, you can also go back to the master CMO and ask it, what did Mohammed say about my meeting? And it would know because it gets the messages.
Wait, what do you mean? Like on here?
Yeah.
It gets previous messages.
Yeah. Well, you can tell it, hey, go to Slack, check what Mohammed said. And
Oh,
then-
I see.
yeah.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so as we can see here on the app, it said, perfect, I've taken care of both of those tasks for you. And that's really cool, right? And yeah, so that's kind of the basic essence. Oh yeah, I forgot to check the calendar. So if we go to calendar, we can see here on calendar, it should be scheduled for 12 p.m. Look at that. Short form content filming with Muhammad. And it even spelled your name correctly because it did the Slack part first.
And he even invited me.
Oh, and it invited Muhammad to the event.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that is the basic essence of like the communication side of it, right? That is the first tool, right? Based on whatever we put in, it has access to our calendar, it has access to email, and it also has access to Slack. That's pretty cool. But, you know, we might not just want to communicate with people. We might also want to do some research, right? We might also want access to news. We might want to scrape the internet. We might want some of that. We might want to use some of that in a longer workflow. You want to break down this tool real quick?
Yeah. So yeah, the research tool is just another AI agent that has access to the news API. So it can just gather all the news for today or a month or the last year. SERP API just for basic Google searches. But what I'm really excited about, and honestly, which I found out about today, and I'm going to deep dive on it all day today, is the Appify MCP. So Appify they host over 4,000 different APIs you can use, and mostly for scraping the web and maybe social media. And they just released an MCP server.
And so what's crazy about this tool is like MCP is like really hard to set up. And so this is like, and when you create these workflows, even on n8n, it's really annoying because you have to put in your own credentials and API keys to use all of it. You have to set up billing on all of them.
Yeah.
There's only one portal for billing. So you can use all these different tools with one singular key, which is like your personal password or account.
Yeah.
And that makes it super easy.
And if I go ahead and open the node, you can see how super simple it is. It's just the SSE endpoint, my auth.
And you get that on the Appify site. Okay.
And you just sign up and you get one. And they also have a free tier as well.
Amazing. And so this agent that our agent has access to is kind of like, it gathers context. You can kind of think of it as like a little MCP, or it serves that kind of function of gathering relevant context because for marketing, again, context is so important in marketing. It's actually the most important thing. A lot of people don't focus on it enough. And so why don't we try and give this a go on our VAP here? And so what we can do here is we can say, please search the internet and find the latest news regarding Cluely and their recent fundraise. And then, please use the SERP API for that. And then I want you to message Mohammed and let him know what research you found, please. And so what we're doing here, right? We sent that data from our VAP to our master agent, which will then do some research. And then after it's done researching, it should indeed go to the helper agent to then send the message to Muhammad. And again, this is just a glimpse into the future of AI agents, right?
Yeah.
Right now, you do have to do a lot of manual work, and that is just kind of how it works now. If you want the edge in anything in AI, like you do have to do a lot of extra work to get things to be to be able to automate things.
Yeah.
And I think the best people I've seen at creating apps that allow for, high quality automations or high quality agents are the people who have like a deep attention to detail. They're willing to fail over and over again so that they can just like automate a bunch of these boring tasks.
Yeah. How long do you think it'll take before someone automates an entire company?
I mean, I bet you it's
With
already
just
happening. I bet you it's already happening
Yeah.
at like a small scale, like little e-commerce companies.
Yeah.
But like until someone were to automate, like if it was one person doing like raising money in a startup, I mean, there's literally a startup that raised money to all they do is buy businesses and then replace all the employees with AI agents. I forget what it's called.
What?
Okay, wait. So it's done researching here. And now that it's done researching, it should send that information back to helper.
Yep.
So now it is in helper. And if we go to Mohammed's screen, you can see that he's on Slack. Let's see if he gets it.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
So what does it say? Mohammed just got a message.
Complete research on Cluely with a K. Recent fundraising activities. Here are the key findings. They did raise $15 million.
That's true. All right. So it did research on Cluely, used the SERP API, and it sent it over. And so what I'm trying to show here is you can specify what you want it to do, and then the agent will decide that if it needs to use multiple tools, it can do them in different orders. And so like what kind of like allows for all of this to run smoothly is actually something in the master CMO agent that has access to all these other agents. And that is the system instructions. And I think we've done a pretty simple system instructions, but do
Yeah.
you want to break this down real quick?
For sure, yeah. So one of the most important parts of a system prompt is how you set up the agent's mindset. So that would be right in the beginning. And so I said, you're a master CMO agent that will have control over other agents.
Right.
You currently have access to 4 agents. And then so we break it down for the orchestrator agent, the master agent.
Yeah.
And so we basically just say, what the agent does at a high level and sort of the tools it uses, because this isn't really going to do any of the work. It just has to know the context of what that agent can do. And so let's say that the user asks, I want something in Notion, or I want to message someone on Slack. They can point to the right agent that has access to Slack. It doesn't actually have to do any of that. It just
Totally. And if you go to my screen real quick, one other thing, like when you're thinking about this, right? One thing that's really important is access to Notion. So if you can see here on the poster agent, right, it has access to Notion. Here is where we have our SOPs, like get content SOPs. These are basically like, I have a list of all the good hooks I've used. I have a list of how I do my podcast research. I have a list of how I do long form, short form, tweets. It has access to all of that information. And so if I ask for a tweet, I want it to look at this and be like, okay, how does this guy write?
Yeah.
So as the AI in the posting step, right, it should know to do this. And you could actually do this in 2 places, right? You could put that in the master instructions, or you could put that in the instructions that are part of this, right? You have a system message for each individual agent. And I'm sure that's actually where you put a lot of the information. And so you don't have to put everything in this main master agent instructions. It just needs to know to send it to that agent.
Yeah.
Because once you send it to that information, it needs to know what information to give it.
Yeah.
Right? It needs to give it all the information, but you're basically delegating it to this new agent that has a more in-depth and a more specific agent instruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of exactly how a company works. The
Yeah.
CMO, his main job is to delegate labor to other more skilled workers. And if you delegate it wrong, that's when things can go bad. So it's really important to make sure that you tell the master agent exactly what does what and what information comes back.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's more. You have to be able to send full instructions, right? If you're like, if we're sending information down to the engineering team, like of a new feature we want, we don't have to know how to implement it. We
Right.
just know have to like, hey, I want this feature that does this because this user said that we should add it, and these 10 other users said that we needed to have it, and I think it should look like this, and this, right? But I don't need to send them full instructions because that's what they know how to do,
Yeah.
and that is how this is becoming this like agent army that you can create.
Yeah.
And we just created the front end interface. And you watched the last video that we created. We're actually adding on the Vibe Code app, we're adding the ability to integrate directly into n8n. So when you create an app, you can just press the n8n integration and plug in your master webhook, and
Yeah.
you can immediately hit that agent, and it will actually generate your app for you in a format that will work with n8n.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really cool, and you should do that. Like you can sign up. I'll put the link in the description for that. It's a really easy way to do it. But let's go ahead and move on to the third agent here, which this is the one I think we've talked about the least.
The media agent?
Yeah, the media agent. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
All right. So the media agent, it has 4 separate FAL workflows to generate media. And it also has 2 different inputs as well. It can take in just text or image and text.
And when we add the on the Vibe Code app, it'll automatically work out of the box.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to input images and text.
Yeah. So it'll just send you an image URL, and then the agent knows what to do and where to send it. And
Amazing.
so it'll just work.
That's awesome.
So with those 4, we can go text to video, text to image, image and text to video, or image. And then we also have, again, the Appify MCP, but specifically, we're using this to scrape images off the web. So if we wanted like a real specific image, it would scrape it from Google Images and send it back to the agent.
Amazing. Yes. And that I think is really important. I actually really like the ability to like get specific images. I think it makes any text output more fun if you have an image there. I
Yeah.
think Perplexity was one of the first ones to render images in its response. Obviously, OpenAI renders images in their responses now. So
Yeah.
it's like that's why Perplexity has to kind of pivot right now. They're in a tough spot. But I think it's really important in your outputs to have images, and why not just like pull them from the internet?
Yeah.
So what we can do now let's do a mixture of step 3, which is this the media agent, and then let's go back to helper. So what we can do here is I am going to give this a test on my phone here, and we can say, please generate an image of a man staring at the camera, holding his phone, and have some text on the screen saying, "Oh my God, this is insane." And I want you to generate that image, and I want you to do that 3 times, right? I want to have multiple attempts at this. And please make sure you send these to Mohammed after. I want you to send these image to Mohammed in Slack. So please do that. Okay. So we're sending this
Can't
workflow.
wait to see those. Hopefully it spelled my name right.
Hopefully it.
Yeah, we got it. No, that's good.
Amazing.
All right.
Okay. So now, as you can see, the master agent has passed it to the media agent. Now the media agent is going to work. Media agent. And one thing I want to do in the future for the media agent is upload really good examples of, like if we could actually add a glyph workflow, that would be really useful because I've mastered my, I have a YouTube thumbnail workflow that's really good, and it uses my own image
Yeah.
every time. That would be really cool to add.
I mean, anything with an API can be hit with,
Yeah.
these.
That's really cool. And so we can really get granular about YouTube thumbnail ideas,
Yeah.
Instagram story thumbnail ideas, and we can put all of our brand assets in there so it keeps the colors correct.
Yeah.
Because right now it's using a pretty simple workflow on FAL. We haven't really gotten into that yet. But as you can see, it's done. Actually, no, it's done 2 of the image generations.
Yep.
Now it's going in for the 3rd. And then it should go to the helper agent to message you.
Yeah. And every time it generates an image, it stores it in that memory.
Yep.
And then once it has those 3 images, it knows it's done generating, and then it'll go to the helper and send it to me.
Amazing. And so it's done 3. Hopefully that's the last one it hits. Hopefully the next one is helper. Come on, baby.
Oh, it's
There
smart.
we go.
It's smart.
Amazing. Agentic. And so now it is on helper. And if we go to Mohammed's screen here, boom, look at that. On Mohammed's screen, you have 3 links here. Oh, and they rendered in here.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so we created these images.
Oh my God. This is insane.
Yeah, this is insane. And you know what? We're using the Flux Context
Yeah.
model here. And Flux Context is actually much better at editing than it is generating images from scratch. But that's not bad. And I think if we wanted to dive into the details here, we can make sure that if we say thumbnail, it would do horizontal orientation.
Yeah.
But that's something we could include in the system instructions in the media agent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that is tool number 3. It generates images, and you can create. This is one that we've probably put in 30 minutes of work creating these workflows. We could easily put in a full day, get all the brand assets, and that's one thing we might do in a future video.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the final one that we can dive into, final tool, is the poster agent, right? And so let's go ahead and let's try to do one. I have an idea here. And one thing I built into the VAP on Vibecode is you can actually just press this text button here, and you can actually just type into. And so what I want to do is I want to generate an image, and then I want to turn that image into a video. And so we only need one agent for that. If you remember here, we have this image and text to video, which is super cool. And then I want to take that, whatever that output is, I want to post it on social media using the poster agent, which will actually just post it to Buffer. It'll basically allow us to schedule it with one click. And then I want to let you know when I've done that. It'll send you a message on Slack. So let's see if we can do that all in one little message here. So I'm going to say, please create an image of a man on a unicycle with an orange shirt that says download vibe code. Then turn it into a video. Then post to Buffer. Then message Muhammad when you are done. So we can use text to type that in, and we're going to hit send. And as you can see here, it gets sent to our master agent. It should be sent here. Now it is likely generating an image and then generating a video. Then it will go here. So let's see.
And this is using 3 separate agents.
3 separate agents. It's going to use this agent, and this agent. Well, 4 technically, because this
5.
Yeah.
Wait, 6 if you include Zapier.
Oh yeah. With workflows here. Oh man, this is insane.
There's so many layers to this onion.
Yeah.
And it's only.
This is
only the beginning.
This is only the beginning too. Like we're gonna make this a lot more refined too. Did it already go to the poster agent? Okay, so it's hit this twice. So it hit the media agent twice, and now it's going to the poster agent.
Perfect.
Okay, it is done with the poster agent here. And so as you can see, it is now going up to helper. So it's, in theory, it should have posted it to Buffer, and now it's going to tell Mohammed all about it. Wait, did I tell it to include the video?
I think you just said, well, let's see what it does. You said,
we'll
tell
see
me
what
about
does.
it.
I don't think I specified to send you the video, but we'll see if it does, because it should just be a link to the video, right?
That'd be awesome, yeah.
Yeah. So if we go to Mohammed's screen, we'll see what the agent says, and then we'll check and see if it was posted on social.
It came in. Hi, Mohammed. I've completed your tasks that you requested. An image of a man on a unicycle with an orange shirt that says download vibe code, convert it to a video, and post it on Buffer and social media.
Everything is ready to go. That is incredible. And Helper's still running for whatever reason. Maybe it's just checking its work or something like that. Workflow successfully executed. If we go to Buffer, we see that we got this. Uh-oh, what is this? We even watch this? Let's see. What is this?
Whoa.
Okay, so I see the vibe code logo, or the vibe code colors, download vibe code. And it's using VO2. It's not using VO3 because VO2 is just insanely expensive to run. but we have this little video of a guy riding a unicycle. And as you can see, it generated the video, did all the steps, and it messaged Muhammad. I could have updated it to message the link to the video because it is represented with a link, but that is just some things that we could refine with the agent.
Yeah.
And not going to lie, we made this today. We made
Yeah,
basically
just send some more.
most of this flow today.
Yeah.
And in the next video, like we're gonna really, I think we should make a really refined workflow for something that we do because I use a lot of AI workflows for like YouTube thumbnails, research reports. I think we could include some of the actual workflows I use and like really build it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
So if you guys have any ideas, let us know.
hell yeah. Well, we'll see you in the next one.